Well, Arsenal fans are among the most privileged in the land when it comes to seeing their team score goals, so you can imagine the shock here when the Gunners fired blanks in that last Premiership fixture at Highbury, the 0-0 draw against Fulham. The first league game in which Arsenal have failed to score at home for more than 2.5 years. As you've heard, Rovers are certainly Arsenal's bogey team here. Just one defeat in their last 7 visits to this famous old stadium, and having rediscovered the form that earned them a place in the Premiership's top 6 last season, Blackburn will be confident of getting a decent result again here today. Brian, what do you think Blackburn's secret is in avoiding defeat on a ground where so many teams fail?
I think first and foremost, I think they've had a lot of good fortune. I think in recent years, I remember the performance of Brad Friedel a couple of years ago, and he was absolutely outstanding. He seemed to save everything that day. But you know, you were mentioning about the goals that Arsenal have scored at Highbury. They've actually found it quite difficult. When you look at the fact they've scored 12 at home compared to Manchester United's 21. That obviously suggests that you know, a lot of sides do come here, pack their defence, try and frustrate Arsenal for long periods, and in the shape of Fulham, of course, the other week when we were last here, you know, it reaped dividends. And I'm sure that Blackburn will have looked at that performance and will have seen how well they defended, how well they were organised, more than aware that Arsenal had a lot of possession that day, and try and impose themselves then when they've got a foothold of the game.
Blackburn were the only team in the Premiership to beat Arsenal home and away last season. They won 2-1 here. Dwight York scoring what proved to be the winner early in the second half. Blackburn forced to cling on to their lead with only 10 men after Gary Flickcroft was sent off. And then Rovers won 2-0 at Ewood Park in March, becoming the first team since Liverpool to manage a Premiership double over the Gunners. It's almost 2 years now since Arsenal beat Blackburn. 3-2 victory at Ewood Park in January 2002. Dennis Bergkamp scoring twice for Arsenal. Matt Jansen got 2 goals for Blackburn. As we mentioned, Arsenal failed to score here against Fulham in the last Premiership fixture at Highbury, but they have made up for it since. 5 goals in the Carling Cup tie against Wolves, another 2 in the Champions League in midweek. Can Blackburn, I wonder, stop them from scoring today? 7.5 years since Arsenal went 2 successive home games without getting a goal. In the Premiership, it happened in 0-0 draws against Tottenham and Liverpool back in May 1996 when Bruce Rioch was the manager here. So we're all ready to go. An opportunity for Arsenal to go back to the top of the table. The Blackburn Rovers are in form and their confidence is high, and they believe they're capable of a result here today, and why not with their record at Highbury. Match officials make their way between the players in that very narrow dressing room corridor here. Well, since the Premiership was formed almost 12 years ago now, these are the only 2 clubs who've interrupted Manchester United's domination of the league title. The Gunners, well, they're in the Championship picture once again, thanks to their unbeaten start to the season, and Rovers are also rounding nicely into form themselves. Blackburn have a wonderful record on this ground. Can they become the first Premiership team to win here this season? You can find out. We're live at Highbury.
Aston Villa have beaten Wolves by 3-2. Juan Pablo Angel with a couple of those. Mark Kennedy scored late on for Wolves, not enough. What's going to happen at Highbury? Let's rejoin Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Blackburn Rovers ready to get us underway. Arsenal will become the 3rd different club to lead the Premiership this weekend. If they win, Blackburn start the game in 14th place in the table. Perfect day for a game of such importance. Dry, crisp and sunny, though quite a stiff wind at Highbury, whose legendary playing surface looking as immaculate as ever. Blackburn in the blue and white, straight onto the attack. Ball played in by Neil, and suddenly there's an opportunity for a goal in the opening second. Dwight York has missed within 20 seconds.
Tell you what, Yellen, he knows how close that is. What a very quick start. Blackburn setting about Arsenal, and really just a toe poke. He gets the ball under his feet, but he somehow manages to get a strike on target. And I've got to say, this strike isn't far away. You can see there that Sigan and Campbell trying to get close to him. Lehman knows it's going close, and so did Dwight York.
Well, he once scored a hat-trick against Arsenal for Manchester United in a 6-1 victory almost 3 years ago. He got the winner here last season as well, and he could have got us off to an absolutely sensational start. It could have been one of the quickest goals in the Premiership this season. A real warning bell for Arsenal. Referee today is Andy D'Urso.
Just trying to calm Lucas Neal down. He felt that it was perhaps an overzealous tackle on his part against Freddie Ljungberg. No doubt it was interesting to see Blackburn Rovers out very, very early warming up, and I think that clearly Graham Souness wants them to come into this game a very strong force, try to set about Arsenal quickly. Sometimes a lot of teams make the mistake of coming to Highbury and just sitting back and allowing Arsenal room to get at them. Well, as if Blackburn are going to do that.
And you're prominent again here. Sigan forced to head it clear. Kneeling quickly once more. Very positive start by the visitors, who have halted their slide with 3 wins in their last 4 games. That includes the last 2 matches against Tottenham and Birmingham, in which they've kept their first 2 clean sheets of the season as well. Gilberto for Arsenal. Campbell. Sigan. Normally Arsenal will come flying out of the traps here. On this occasion it's been the visitors. And this header by Babel has gone straight to Thierry Henry. Hurt himself there as well, Henry, as he pulled up trying to control that. He's limping away at the moment. High tempo start here, and York involved again, injured this time.
A very interesting opening, hasn't he, Dwight York? Certainly came very close to putting Blackburn Rovers in perhaps a surprising lead. We talked about the confidence that they've got coming here to Highbury, done very well in recent years, and he just happens to dig it out, and unfortunately for him, he almost wants the ball a little bit more in front of him to give him a chance to just really place the strike. When you toe pole it like that, it can go anywhere. It's unfortunate, he isn't too far away.
Involved again. Gilberto hacks it clear. First touch for Brad Friedel, who's just kept his first 2 clean sheets of the season. He had more clean sheets than any other goalkeeper in the Premiership last season. This clearance has gone straight to Ashley Cole. Babel winning it back for Blackburn. Getting the return ball from Ferguson.
I know it's early days, but Blackburn really upset their stall out to come here and just attack Arsenal. They'll probably be thinking, well, you know, they've had a tough Champions League game during the week. There's a lot being going on at Highbury, and if we're going to have a chance here today, let's try and take them by surprise. Let's get at them very early in the game, and seems to so far be working quite well. Arsenal seem to be back on their heels at the moment. A little bit surprised, you have to say, the way that Blackburn have approached this match.
A bit of concern on Arsene Wenger's face already. Sol Campbell. Sigan, quickly closed down by Dwight York. Lehman took it rather awkwardly, but clears under pressure. Craig Short heard himself heading that ball clear. Now Perez, foul by Emerton. Sigan. It's Cole. Blackburn get the verdict on the throw. Only 5 wins from their 15 games so far, Graham Souness' team. Drawn 2 and lost 8. They actually suffered 5 successive defeats in the Premiership before they ended that run beating Everton 2-1 at Ewood Park. It represented their worst run for 11 years, and that was a very rash challenge on Freddie Ljungberg, and even though we've had less than 6 minutes, the referee is going to reach the first card of the afternoon.
Well, That was very rash, wasn't it, by Gresco? You know, superb little turn, wasn't it, by Freddie Ljungberg? Got him into some space, and Gresco, very, very cynical. It's high. No real surprise that the referee reached for the yellow card.
Caution for the Slovakian international, who's the only man for Blackburn who's played in every game this season, apart from the goalkeeper Friedel. There's Ljungberg. Toure back to Gilberto. He's dispossessed by Ferguson. Now Tugai. That ball, but Seagon read the danger.
One of the things that's impressed me about Blackburn so far in this opening, Alan, is the way that they've really defended high up the field. I think the front two have got to close down the two centre-backs whenever possible. The midfield four are pushing on as well, making sure that the Arsenal players, certainly in the back third and the midfield third, don't get too much room.
Now we're looking for Gallagher. Vieira won the header though. Gresco. Back to Marcus Babbel. German international down the line. It's a good ball. York's poised, waiting for the cross from Everton. Just over his head, and a good take by Lehmann.
Superb take. Certainly made his decision very, very quickly, didn't he, the Arsenal keeper, to come for this. Through one or two players. It's a clever little ball in from Brett Emerton. That's a good take.
Nice bit of skill by Seagon to his fellow Frenchman Robert Pires. Fans howl their disapproval at the tackle, but the referee saw nothing wrong. You might see something wrong with that one. Now by Bergkamp.
A very good tackle initially when I saw it, Barry Ferguson. And they worked very, very hard, Ferguson. Pires, first time really he's had the chance to run at this Blackburn Rovers back four. Well, that looks a very clean, well-executed tackle by the Blackburn Rovers midfield player. Seems to be continuing that through Pires now, just having a bit of a go at Barry Ferguson.
Gresco in for Gallagher, who was caught from behind by Campbell. Obviously wanted to take the free kick quickly, and Toure just stood in front of him, and that's why he's complaining to the referee. Bit of a debate here between Gresco and Ferguson about the execution of the free kick. It's going to be the Scottish international who takes it in the end. For Babbel.
I have to say that that's a poor header really from someone of the ability of Marcus Babbel. It's a free header. It's a good ball into the far post by Ferguson. You can see there, almost either looking to head that back towards a couple of other Blackburn players, or really trying to force a header on goal yourself, and it really ends up in between.
There's a dozen games now in his season-long loan from Liverpool. Holding play up for a mysterious reason. One of the Blackburn players has had to leave the field. It's Craig Short, who seemed to damage his nose in making a header earlier. Of course, he broke it in actual fact a week or so ago. There's that famous quote from Graham Souness, who said his nose ended up pointing in a different direction at 5 o'clock to the way it had been at 3. Pires. Vieira. Dispossessed by Gallagher. It's done well. Tugai takes over. York wanted it early. This is the ball he was looking for, but York was offside.
Tell you what, initially, you know, Dwight York made a clever run. Seagon thought he was going to make a run infield. Instead, he just checked away, got in behind the Arsenal centre-back.
There goes Ljungberg. Henry ahead of him. Straight onto the chest of Todd. Tugai. Awkward ball for Dwight York. Arsenal third, 2 points behind Manchester United, 1 behind Chelsea. They'll go top if they win, of course, and they'll go second if they draw. Gilberto. Campbell. Here's Ashley Cole. Vieira. Now Bergkamp. Pires. Arsenal settling into their stride after a rather nervy opening. Toure takes on Gresco, beats him for pace. Great run, pulls it back to Bergkamp. 1-0 Arsenal. Doesn't matter how well you start, if you don't finish, you get nothing. Arsenal's first real attack. First goal.
Well, normal service has been resumed. That's fabulous play, because before this Arsenal had kept the ball for about 5-6 passes. And I said at the top of the programme, you know, that they would get a lot of possession and Blackburn need to keep their shape in their organisation, but unfortunately they don't do that. Gresco gets exposed. Toure does superbly well to get to the byline and pulls back the simplest of crosses. And Dennis Bergkamp, he isn't going to miss opportunities like this. He's too good a player.
Well, Bergkamp got the winner the last time Arsenal beat Blackburn almost 2 years ago. And he's got a very good scoring record against them. That was his 6th goal in 13 appearances against Blackburn Rovers. Short getting forward on the Blackburn free kick, but Lehmann took it cleanly and tries to deliver long for Henry, and Gresco gets away with a mistake this time, having been turned inside out moments earlier. Turgay looking for the run by Lucas Neal. Gallagher's in the middle, awkward one for Seagon. Neal away by Cole. Pires, Vieira. Good ball. Ashley Cole, Pires ahead of him. Arsenal's throw now then. The referee, I think, will reach for a card again for Ferguson.
Well, that's been simmering for a while, Alan. Right back to when Barry Ferguson had made that superb tackle against Robert Pires. It just gone on and on and on from there, and no real reason for Thierry Henry to get involved other than perhaps saying, you know, why book him? You know, it's a good challenge again by Barry. That's nothing really. Wayne Rooney of Portsmouth.
Well, 13 minutes gone. Blackburn have lost a goal and had 2 players cautioned, and yet they've actually started well.
Probably played as well as I've seen anybody play here in Highbury. Certainly the opening quarter of the game anyway.
It's going to be an interesting day by the looks of it. Thierry Henry finding Bergkamp, the goal scorer's shot blocked this time. Bergkamp again. Arsenal, the only unbeaten team, remember, in all 4 divisions of English football. 10 wins and 5 draws, and they now have the only unbeaten home record in the Premiership after Chelsea's setback against Bolton yesterday. Campbell. Toure with wonderful run led to the goal. Greg Short across on the cover. Graham Souness very complimentary about him. He said since he came back into the side, Blackburn's defence has improved no end. He wishes he was 25 instead of 35. Bergkamp. There's Ljungberg. Oh, what a ball in! And Gresco's had a nightmare start here, dispossessed by Ljungberg. Pires!
Should have scored, Robert Pires. He actually had time to perhaps just jump and take that ball on his chest. And then that would have been 2-0 to Arsenal, but instead takes it early with the head.
Ferguson. Thought about having a go initially, and by the time he changed his mind, the opportunity had gone.
Well, they got themselves into all sorts of trouble here, didn't they, Blackburn Rovers, trying to play their way out of trouble. That's when he could have taken it with his chest, because he had a lot of room around him. Just look, there's no Blackburn Rovers defenders.
5 goals in his last 8 games, Pires. He scored here against Locomotive in midweek. Short clearance. Straight to Touré. Flicked on by Gilberto to Freddie Ljungberg. Cole. And now Vieira. Good ball, Bergkamp. Not the ball that Friedel was looking for, and he couldn't handle it, obviously, as a back pass, so he did the next best thing.
Just need to compose themselves at the moment. Blackburn Rovers having had such a promising start. They're all over the place.
And here's Thierry Henry. Clearance by Ferguson. Emerton plays it back to Babel. There's one for Gallagher to chase. Seagon did brilliantly. He's been a much improved player this season. Vieira. There's two guys for Blackburn. Neil. York. Lucas Neal again. Gallagher ahead of him. And a good layoff finds Gresco. What a good take that was by Jens Lehmann.
There's two, isn't it, that he's come and claimed. One from the right-hand side and then that one from the left. Showing lots of confidence, the goalkeeper, when called upon.
Perez. Here's Patrick Vieira. Restored, of course, to his familiar position in Arsenal's midfield after missing 8 Premiership games through injury. Gilberto. Ljungberg finds Vieira. Now Cole. And off Short's head. Bergkamp in a battle with Gresco. Ferguson. Here's Babel. Dwight York. Excellent control. Babel joins in again.
Actually done all right, you know, Blackburn Rovers. No sooner have we wondering how they find themselves 1-0 down. They've had a lot of possession. You know, they've created a couple of half-decent chances. And they get caught with a soccer punch.
Here's Perez. Henry. Lovely ball. Touré. Neil barring the way forward, but Gilberto there to help out, and Vieira finds Perez. Touré. Henry goes down, but gets no free kick. In fact, the free kick's gone against him. Quickly taken in towards Gallagher. Campbell wins the header, then wins the challenge against York, and the next one against Neil. Absolute determination there from Sol Campbell. Gresco for Blackburn. York. Here's Neil again. Good ball for Gresco. Oh, great cross that was. Ferguson arriving.
Tell you what, you know, it's great judgment by the goalkeeper. Just have a look at his position when that ball came into the box.
Gresco. Oh, it's been a really good opening here. The first 20 minutes has flown by.
That's because Blackburn have had a go, and full credit to them. You know, they've come here with the intent of trying to get a goal very early in the game, and they've had some decent chances.
Thierry Henry. Didn't get it right this time, straight to Emerton. He was trying to feed it in to Cole. There's Ferguson. And Gresco. Neil. Two guys. Good ball for Babel. They're playing some excellent football here, Blackburn. Emerton. York. Two guys just took his eye off the ball. Gilberto's challenge deemed to be a foul.
A little bit unfortunate, isn't he, the Brazilian? Trying to get the ball against two guys. the best of first touches, the Blackburn midfield player, but again, Blackburn building very neatly.
Bresco. Now where's he going? Oh, he really has made a very uncertain start here. Freddie Ljungberg trying to feed it into Henry, and he finds Vieira. That was all down to Bresco's mistake again. Should have been 2-0.
Well, really, it's an incredible chance once again for Arsenal. Very similar in many respects to when Robert Pires broke free and got himself into the box. He had more time to control this ball, Patrick Vieira. Superb chance set up to him by Thierry Henry. Could have had a first touch, but instead decided to take it first time. Patrick Vieira, like Robert Pires before him, just wanted the opportunity to make it 2-0 to Arsenal.
Toure. Oh, what a touch by Henry. Just didn't quite find its target, Freddie Ljungberg. Now Ferguson. Tuga. York just holding off the challenge from Seagon. Now Emerton. Not a bad ball in. Very calm defending by Kolo Toure. Henry adjudged to have handled that. Blackburn gets straight on with the free kick. Tugai, who scored in the 2-0 home win Blackburn had against Arsenal last season. Neil's cross. Foul. Here's Emerton. First time he's ever faced Arsenal in his career. Foul. Lucky, Paul just read his intention. Pires. And Henry. Pires again. Furious pace here for the first quarter of this match. Tuga into York. The layoff finds Gallagher. Emerton. Both teams really going for it. Very entertaining stuff. Pires. Thierry Henry. Oh. Wonderful. And a wonderful ball too if it reaches Bergkamp. Friedel with good anticipation made sure it did.
It really is end-to-end, isn't it, the game that we've witnessed at the moment. But a lot of credit goes to Blackburn Rovers. We saw them a few weeks ago at Old Trafford, and when they decided to play in the second period, they really did create a lot of problems for the current champions of the Premier League. Well, at the moment, they're creating a number of problems for Arsenal.
Vieira. Bergkamp's layoff to Pires. Offside.
Must have been close. Must have been very close. A lot of space for Thierry Henry to run into. And if the right ball could be found, well, I'm not convinced. Not convinced at all. And again, you get the benefit when a defender sticks his arm in the air. Sometimes that just does enough to fool one of the officials, and that's what happened when Craig Shaw put his arm up.
Tugai finds Dwight York. Emerton. And a foul by him on Cole.
Just shows you that how well Blackburn are doing when the fullbacks are getting into the positions that we've seen so far. It's a fabulous ball in, and just look, if any sort of touch, I think it was Barry Ferguson at the near post, then Lehmann would have been stranded completely.
Ljungberg. Now Vieira. Henry. Get the shot right, but the way he set himself up, superb. I wonder if we're looking at the world's first £50 million footballer, according to newspaper reports this morning. That's the valuation that's been placed on him. It's likely that tomorrow he will be officially crowned at the ceremony in Switzerland as the World Footballer of the Year. And he deserves it. Toure. Gilberto. Vieira. Now Perez. Ljungberg finding Toure. Always so many options for the man on the ball in this Arsenal side.
Because they don't play in a static way, do they? There's a lot of fluidity, especially in that midfield area. You look at Perez and Ljungberg will come inside on a lot of occasions and almost try and create a little triangle of passes. Allow Vieira and Gilberto to play off them, and then they find the right pass to play, and invariably that's either to Henry or Bergkamp or to the wide areas where the two full-backs are supporting play. So they always seem to have options.
Well, Blackburn won't be too depressed. Only Liverpool have a better Premiership record than they do at Highbury. They've won 3, drawn 4 and lost only 2 of their previous 9 visits here. And they're playing well enough at the moment to get back into this. Tugai. Here's York, who could have scored within the first 20 seconds.
We talked about the game plan of Blackburn Rovers, and really that was to try and get Lucas Neal to protect Gresco, but unfortunately Lucas Neal just gets drawn inside to Freddie Ljungberg. That's what I talked about, the way that Arsenal play, especially the two wide midfield players, and that allows the full-backs to get forward, and Toure did that to great effect, and then Bergkamp gets opportunities like that. He is the epitome of composure.
First goal of the season, Bergkamp, recently against Birmingham. Sloppy layoff there has given Henry possession. Perez to his left. Todd spotted the danger. Now Emerton. Tugai. This is Craig Shaw for Blackburn. Tugai fouled by Gilberto. In fact, Mr. Verso is reaching for another yellow card.
I just wonder whether it was for kicking the ball away. I'm not quite sure, because it didn't look like a malicious tackle at all, did it, on Tugai? I'm a little bit surprised initially when he gave him the free kick, but as this ball's played in by Craig Shaw, he's booked him for that. It's a nothing tackle.
Would you believe that's the first time he's ever been cautioned in a Premier League game? Some record for a midfielder. Tugai into York. Ball layoff. Spotted by Henry. Ljungberg. Henry wants it back. Away by Shaw, but only as far as Robert. Perez! Friedel was comprehensively beaten. The post to Blackburn's rescue.
Well, I was a little bit critical when he had the chance with the header, that he fired straight at Brad Friedel, because I thought that he should have shown a little bit more composure, but he's certainly shown bags of composure when he gets the chance here. He has a touch, has a little look up, and then picks his spot. He knows exactly where he wants to play that. It isn't far away from executing a superb strike on goal.
Todd's clearance goes straight out of play. Here they go again, with Perez in possession. Vieira. Bergkamp. Perez opens it up with the ball for Toure. Sigon. Oh, what a great pass for Perez. Here's Thierry Henry. I think he was shouting for a free kick for a possible handball there. It all happened so quickly. I must say it deceived me. And if it was handball, it obviously deceived Mr. D'Urso as well.
Happened so quickly, didn't it? It was an audacious little flick, wasn't it, by Thierry Henry, just trying to get him in behind Andy Todd, but
Craig Short's lost possession. Here's the Youngberg. Here's Henry. Brilliant. And again. And then he just lashed out in frustration at Todd.
Well, that time it was good defending from Andy Todd. He certainly stood firm. This is what happened on that occasion. No, definitely not. I don't know how Thierry Henry can actually claim a handball, because he can't even see it happening, because he turns the other direction. So he doesn't witness anything really about the challenge that Todd makes. So a little bit surprising that he's trying to claim a handball in that situation.
Still moaning about it to Mr. D'Urso even now. Gallagher, Turgay, Bresco. It almost turned out to be a good ball. I'm not sure it was exactly what he was intending. Bergkamp. Seagon not expecting that. Dwight York pressurises him sufficiently well to earn a throw.
Well, Blackburn Rovers will be delighted with the start they've made, but saying that, Arsenal could quite easily have been 2 or 3 nil ahead. Certainly Robert Perez has had a couple of very good chances. That was the last one that cannoned off the post, showing wonderful composure, as he tends to do most of the time.
Roberto taking too much time on the ball, but he's got away with it. Perez. Oh. Henry. Lost his man brilliantly. That explosive change of pace. Dennis Bergkamp. It won't count. Didn't go in anyway, but it wouldn't have counted. Offside.
Well, my first reaction was Dennis Bergkamp was offside on that occasion, but as Thierry Henry plays that ball, it's very, very tight, and certainly the benefit of the doubt on 2 occasions now has gone to the Blackburn Rovers defenders. It was just that sudden burst of pace by Thierry Henry in that central midfield area. They just took him past 3 or 4 Blackburn Rovers players.
It's short. Blackburn have only lost once, remember, in their last 7 visits here, and that was 3.5 years ago, to a goal by Bergkamp, who also missed a penalty that day. It's Ferguson. Bresco's cross, and it's come off Toure for a corner.
Perhaps a little bit more guile and quality in the final third. Blackburn Rovers could quite easily have found themselves on level terms in this football match, because they've had enough possession, they've got into good areas of the field.
Fires one in. On Sky Sports 1, later today from the Barclaycard Premiership, where at Ellen Road, the Leeds United against Fulham. Leeds in trouble, Fulham 4th. That kicks off at 5 minutes past 4. Henry won the ball, didn't realise he had. Now it's gone back to Perez. Offside again, Bergkamp.
Again, very, very close, isn't it? And just trying to thread that ball, and once again, I'm not convinced the referee's assistant has got it right on that occasion, but once more, Craig Short, arm in the air. I'm sure George can talk all about that at half-time. Always fashioned his defenders to do that. And you just see the benefit that it brings when you do put your arm in the air. That officials seem to buy that.
goes long, looking for Dwight York. Gallagher's just behind him. Campbell's clearance. And back to York. Emerton. Babel. Took a deflection off the German international. Goal kick.
But again, just look at the amount of times that Blackburn Rovers have got their fullbacks into the final third. Gresco, I can recall 4 or 5 occasions, especially some of the balls that he's played into the box with that left foot of his, and Marcus Babel, again, rampaging forward, trying to join Brett Emerton.
Blackburn had that big 4-0 win at Birmingham in their last away game, ending a run of 4 successive defeats on the road in the Premiership. Here's Dwight York. He's got caught in possession. Fine tackle by Ashley Cole, and he stayed down, injured the Blackburn player. Henry. Bergkamp. And he wanted it back. It's gone to Freddie Ljungberg. And it's broken for Pires.
Well, again, Robert Pires could quite easily have had a couple of goals in this first half. Dwight York just having to play as a makeshift right back because Marcus Babel had got injured moments earlier.
Babel is still limping back towards his own half.
I don't think when I first saw it there was too much intent by Ashley Cole. He certainly does catch him. And Marcus Babel there, thankfully for Blackburn Rovers, back up on his feet, back into his customary right back position.
Pires. There's Toure. Fine ball for Ljungberg, who's lost his defender brilliantly. Bergkamp. On it goes to Gilberto. A bit too deep, but he's kept it on the field. Not now, he hasn't.
Just looking at Graham Soon, he's having a word with Steve Dunn, you know, the fourth official. He felt the tackle from Ashley Cole was a little bit overzealous, and of course Graham, no stranger to controversy down on the touchline in recent weeks.
I think he's only been voicing opinions that an awful lot of people in football, particularly in his job, would agree with. Clearance by Gresco. There's Vieira. And to Pires. Now Cole. Thierry Henry. Oh, what a ball for Pires! Good work by Friedel.
Oh, he almost teased the Blackburn Rovers back forward, and Thierry Henry waited and waited and waited. It was very nearly a superb ball to Robert Pires.
Gresco, Neil. Good ball back to Tougai. Arsenal claiming offside there against York, nothing given. Ljungberg dispossessed by Gallagher. Gresco, Neil. It's all a bit too tight for Blackburn. Bergkamp opens it up with a great ball for Henry. Oh, that's good work, Pavel. Tougai. York. Here's Neil. Just took too long to make up his mind there, Lucas Neil.
Just lacking that little bit of sharpness, creativity that perhaps Arsenal have in their side. Blackburn Rovers at the moment, some of their approach play and possession has been of the highest quality, but when they get to a certain part of the football field, they just lack really that ability to break down the best of defences. We saw it a few weeks ago. You and I were talking about how well Blackburn Rovers have played against Manchester United at times.
Here's Thierry Henry after that mistake by Tougai. Blackburn almost shot themselves in the foot then. Gresco. Neil. Now Ferguson. To Gallagher. This game really has flowed from one end to the other. A wild lunge there by Gallagher, but Toure's off and running.
Well, the Blackburn Rovers skipper was very nearly the culprit in supplying Arsenal with their second goal. Really does lose possession needlessly, and it's very much unlike him, and the deflection very nearly beats Brad Friedel.
That is Bergkamp, whose goal still separates the sides into the last 5 minutes of the half. Yet another offside against Henry. Referee's way play on. Two guys. Vieira. Foul by Ferguson. Arsenal's 15-game unbeaten run this season is, of course, a new Premiership record, beating the previous best of 12. The all-time record for top-flight football, 29 matches. Leeds and Liverpool many years ago. Yellow cards coming out again here, this time for Marcus Babbel.
Cynical, wasn't it, by Marcus Babbel? He knew that Robert Perez had just shoved the ball through his legs and trying to get beyond the German defender. Fabulous skill again, though, from Perez. Just a little nutmeg. I mean, again, you can have no arguments with that one. He's a little bit fortunate, you know. I think it was about 15-20 minutes into this first half. He tried to cynically pull back Thierry Henry when Henry had broken free down that left-hand side.
There's 3 Blackburn players cautioned already: Gresco, Babbel and Ferguson. Toure. Doing well just to keep that on the field. Now Perez. Roberto Vieira. Toure. Another potentially dangerous Arsenal attack. Ljungberg. Perez is on the far post. The linesman, who must have X-ray vision, has decided that had gone out.
Certainly angered the Arsenal fans, hasn't he, in this first half? An official that side of the pitch, because 1 or 2 offsides. It looked very marginal, to say the least.
Everton. Now Babbel. Clearance by Cole.
Okay. Yeah. That's your delivery point, son.
Cole taking his time, Blackburn complaining about that. Todd now for Blackburn. This has gone for a free kick, I think.
There was a late challenge by Patrick Vieira on Andy Todd, and Andy D'Urso was just waiting to see whether Blackburn had decent possession or not.
He's not had a half he will look back on with great pleasure so far, Gresco.
He hasn't, but you know, he does have that ability to get in the final third and produce some telling crosses into the box, and he's done it on a couple of occasions, and he just needs to keep going, get his composure defensively.
Vieira. Ljungberg. Run back by Ferguson. Gallagher in a good position. York on the far post. Emerton arriving in the box. And it was Perez back defending. 2 guys cross. Seagon got there ahead of Dwight York, but in stoppage time. Only a minute of that. Perez. He got dumped on the ground as he played that ball away. Wasn't too happy about it. Still complaining to the Blackburn bench. Graham Souness not impressed.
Robert Perez seen Graham Souness play, I wonder.
Yeah.
Not a man to argue with, Robert.
Good ball from Campbell to Perez. Great little pass as well for Henry. Here he goes again. Now, was he caught there by Babel?
Well, because Babel's going to have to be a little bit careful. He's already had a yellow card and looked as if he was slightly late on Thierry Henry, but Durso, who had a very good position in the incident there, you can see him, he catches him. A little bit surprised he didn't give the free kick. Instead, Arsenal have got the corner.
Well, this will be just about the final meaningful action of the half. Segan goes for it. The half-time whistle at Highbury. What a different story it could have been if Dwight York had converted an opening inside the first 20 seconds. But you don't get any points for hard-look stories. You get points for goals. And Dennis Bergkamp scored a fine one at the end of a really good run by Kolo Touré down the right-hand side. Arsenal have had their opportunities to go 2, maybe even 3 or 4-0. A couple of them going the way of Pires, one for Vieira, I can recall as well. It is only 1-0 at half-time. But 1-0 to the Arsenal has been quite a successful score over the years.
It certainly has. Some brilliance by Arsenal, but Blackburn are still in it. George has been enjoying it. His thoughts after the break. Just the 1 goal so far, scored by Dennis Bergkamp. Doesn't get too many these days. That one could prove to be very important. Super Sunday comes from Elland Road. It's Leeds and Fulham. 4:05 kickoff on Sky Sports 1. And tonight from La Liga, Real Madrid are in action against Deportivo La Coruña. Should be a very good game. 7:30 Sky Sports 1. Good game at Highbury at half-time. Arsenal lead by 1-0. Plenty of attempts on goal and on target for the home side. And a fair few bookings. Referee Andy Durso has been just a little finickety. Gilberto of Arsenal, Gresco, Ferguson and Babel all cautioned for the visitors. Some vintage Arsenal movement during the first 45 minutes, but Blackburn are hanging in there. And George, you've been saying throughout, they need that second goal, don't they?
Yeah, because I mean they're creating so many chances, Marcus, but the percentage-wise, they're not taking them. I thought the first 15 minutes, I thought Blackburn really started well, took the game to Arsenal, and they had maybe a half chance when Dwight York toe-poked an effort.
Here it is, right from kickoff, inside 25 seconds.
Well, they started very well, and this was just it was a half chance. Goes wide.
Almost say it comes to him too early, but a striker of his quality's got to be ready at any time, isn't it?
He controls it. I think Saul made an error there. You can see it now. Saul actually tries to intercept, misses it. He just toe poked it, and it was always going away from the goal. But you know, it was a nice, entertaining, attractive start for attacking start.
It's the right way to play at Highbury, isn't it? You've got to go for it.
Well, I think when it's on to attack Arsenal, you've got to do it. But the only thing is, then that leaves you exposed at the other end. And after 15 minutes, I thought Arsenal really came into their own, scored in their first attack, and after that, created chance after chance.
Well, here is the goal. Dennis Bergkamp hasn't been weighing in with enough recently. Full credit to Touré down the right.
Yeah, he done fantastic. I mean, he's had a very good season. Playing at centre half the majority, but now he's playing full-back. And he's getting into the attacking third as much as Lundberg and even Perez.
What about Gresco? He'd already been booked, which perhaps influenced his lack of a challenge there.
Yeah, but Arsenal actually get Marcus. They're getting an awful lot of joy down this side of the pitch. Both Lundberg is making terrific runs, and Touré is getting forward, and Gresco, he is under a bit of pressure.
He's not had the happiest of 45 minutes. Robert Pires might have had a hat-trick, couple of headers, and then this wonderful shot that bananas round onto the post. But you said beforehand, the likes of Pires and Lundberg have got away in regularly with goals, and they're threatening to do that today, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think this was the one Perez, he bent it. Very similar to actually the goal he scored against Liverpool. He bends it. Instead of getting in the back of the net, it comes off the post. But Arsenal's attacking, you know, in the attacking third of the pitch has been absolutely superb. I mean, with a bit of luck or even a bit of better finishing, look at this bending in there. A bit of better finishing, and Arsenal really could be 2 or 3 up at least.
But Blackburn are still in it. They've got this very good record here in North London, so there's no need to panic yet. If you're of a Rovers persuasion, Father Christmas is catching up on 40 winks. He's got a busy few days coming up, hasn't he? Second half is next. Some cup football to look forward to over the next few days. Tomorrow, the FA Cup. It's Accrington Stanley against Bournemouth from 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. Excuse me. Tuesday, Carling Cup. Arsenal go to West Brom. Quarter-final stage, of course, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 2. And on Wednesday, it's Aston Villa against Chelsea, also from 7 on Sky Sports 2. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil. Could have been more. There have been several marginal offside decisions. Whoever invented this system of conning the official, George, by raising your arm, Craig Short has perfected it.
Yeah, well, the way they're playing very high up the pitch. So therefore, they're going to play the offside game, Marcus. And really, I think they're gambling with it. When you play offside, you've got to try and get players at least five yards offside here. And this is just marginally offside.
And when the defender sticks his arm up in the air, it does have an influence on the official,
it definitely does,
it?
because the linesmen, you know, they've only got a fraction of a second to make a decision. And when you say a couple of players' hands go up, their hand goes up as well. But they're gambling, I think, a little bit there, and they've got away with it up to now. But if they do it too many times, they won't get away with it every time.
I hope you feel suitably guilty for bringing this into the English game, George.
No. When we played the offside, we played it well.
Of course you do. OK, well, Blackburn are still in it. There has been a change at half-time. More details on that from Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
That's right, Marcus. I think no great surprise. The unfortunate Bratislav Gresko, who had a pretty awful first half, will stay in the dressing room for the second half and be replaced by the Irish international and the former Millwall player, Stephen Reid, coming out for what will be his first ever appearance in his career against the Arsenal. He'll slot into that left-back role, and although Gresko did some good things going forward, defensively, Arsenal exposed him.
Yeah, and I think obviously Graham's looked at that. Lucas Neal will just push back into a left-back position. Stephen Reid will play on the left-hand side. Could possibly change him with Brett Emerton as the half wears on, but I'm sure Blackburn will be hoping to start the second half in the way that they started the first.
Arsenal have now scored 30 goals in the Premiership, conceded only 11 in 15.5 games so far. Remember, they are the only team, all 4 divisions in England, yet to lose a game. One of 3 Blackburn players on a yellow card here. Arsenal have taken 17 out of the 21 points available at Highbury this season. 5 wins, 2 draws. Henry for them. Puts it away for once to Todd. Ferguson back to Craig Short, who knocks it long. Seeing on winning the header. Quietly effective, the Frenchman's been. Martin Keown back and fit and available again now. He's amongst the substitutes for Arsenal today. Great ball by Campbell, finding Ljungberg. Just trying to slide it through for Perez. Emerson dispossessed but also fouled by Thierry Henry, who's getting increasingly frustrated, it seems.
Well, you looked at that last Arsenal move going forward. You see how close the 2 wide players were to each other, and that's a difficulty that most sides have against Arsenal. You know, how do you compete with the runs of Ljungberg and Perez when they come inside? You know, it's very difficult to pick them up.
Here's Bergkamp, and here is Freddie Ljungberg! Well, it was an unorthodox but effective save by Friedel. Ljungberg had set that move up with his own interception in midfield, and maybe we'll feel he should have finished it off with a goal.
It was an excellent run from midfield. We've marvelled, haven't we, over the years at the amount of space that Freddie Ljungberg finds in situations like that. I think when we see it again, I think a little bit of credit should also go to Craig Short, because I think he made up a bit of ground and just did enough to perhaps put off Ljungberg.
Campbell's little dink ball into the near post, well read by Lehmann, who's been very impressive today. Hasn't really had a save to make, but every catch, every cross he's come for, he's dealt with well. Gilberto. There's Ljungberg again. Playing handball, not given. In. Now Gallagher. Good ball in by the 19-year-old. Cleared by Toure, only as far as Tugai. or offside.
Well, certainly had some good chances, haven't they, Arsenal, to extend their lead. It's a clever little run, isn't it? And it's a superb ball by Dennis Bergkamp. And as I said earlier, Craig Shaw just perhaps did enough to put off Lundberg, just as he was going to strike it. Needed really to be aiming towards the corners, but he found Brad Friedel central.
Ashley Cole, Henry, Bergkamp's offside.
And again, that high line that George spoke about at half-time, Blackburn Rovers. Got away with it so far, but as we saw with the run from Freddie Ljungberg, we do have players coming from deep, Arsenal, that can exploit sides that push very high up the field.
Certainly the longest undefeated start that Arsenal ever had to a season came under George Graham 13 years ago. They went 23 matches without defeat, winning 15 of them. Henry's cross is a good one, but not quite good enough to pick out Bergkamp. Vieira. Gilberto. There's Toure. And it's Bergkamp. And one back by Toure. It's an excellent game. Tried to pull it back quickly enough. And a foul by Bergkamp.
There was a little bit of apathy by Dennis Bergkamp. I think he felt moments earlier that Lucas Neal had pulled back his shirt, but you know, Toure has had a fabulous season so far, whether he's been playing as a centre-back or as a right-back, and all the plaudits have gone to the likes of Henry and Bergkamp, Perez and Ljungberg, but Toure has been every bit as good as those guys.
Ferguson really adapting well now to life in the English Premiership. His successful years with Glasgow Rangers. Here's Emerton. Ferguson again scored his first Premiership goal as well in the 4-0 win at Birmingham. Todd, Emerton, nice little flick to Dwight York. Babel. A dangerous cross. It's come to Ferguson, who got the shot all wrong.
Well, again, some decent stuff from Blackburn Rovers, getting forward, keeping good possession, trying to probe, but unfortunately just really lacking that cutting edge when you need it most, and that's in the final third, and you'd have to say that probably does separate the two sides at the moment.
Goals have dried up a bit for Blackburn. Their first 6 matches of the season produced 14, just 9 in the last 9. Solve one problem, because they've been letting a lot of goals in. They've cut out that particular failing in recent matches. Now they can't get them themselves. One man who might be able to, Andy Cole, keeping himself warmed up. He's always got some work to do here.
Brilliant.
Did it.
Absolutely top draw by Nicolo Toure. Back to pace, back to strength.
Missed a couple of games all season, as you say. He's played the last few at right back because Lauren was suspended, now injured. Over the throw for Blackburn. Cleared by Seagon, straight back in again. Craig Shaw. Step over from Emerton, but who's going to help him? Two-guy does. And that's a good ball in for Gallagher. Good tackle. He's been really steady, quietly effective, Seagon.
He looks better this season, doesn't he, Seagon, when he's had his chance. And then the last year, he certainly looked a little bit 6s and 7s. Almost things seemed to be too quick around him, and he certainly was exposed on a number of occasions. But since he's come into the side, he's done a good job.
And Lehmann lost that completely in the crowd of players. The whistle's gone. An Arsenal free kick. The goalkeeper very relieved.
You know, when I first saw that ball come into the box, and Lehmann has come for an awful lot of crosses, and you can see there he actually pulls back a Blackburn player. And how many times do referees quite quickly give the opportunity for the goalkeeper to have a free kick? It happens on so many occasions, and I think it was very, very quick there to give the goalkeeper the advantage.
He's played in every Premiership match since he came here. Jens Lehmann only missed a couple of games in the Carling Cup, in which of course Arsenal are still involved and play in midweek. Still involved in everything. Two-guy, Emerton. Just let it run across him. And it's quite a narrow pitch here with Highbury. Well, it looks as though Graham Souness has decided that the time is right to introduce Andy Cole.
We talked about perhaps that lack of cutting edge for Blackburn Rovers, and I wonder whether Graham might actually be bold and go with three up front, or whether young Gallagher might be the player that gives way.
York, the other striker. The ball for Babel. On to Emerton. Babel again. Off Ashley Cole. Babel made sure it was going to be his. And Gilberto gets it clear. It's been a good start again. This time to the second half by Blackburn. Babel for them. Emerton. Dwight York comes to meet it. Near post. A header away by Seagon for a corner.
Oh, what a ball in that was by Brett Emerton. Reminiscent really of Gary Neville's ball at Old Trafford yesterday when Paul Scholes converted it. And full marks to Pascal Seagon. He made sure that his positioning sense was superb. But once again, Blackburn having bags and bags of possession. They need to convert that into goals.
Emerton with the corner. Very sure, trying to get away from Sol Campbell on that near post area. Didn't quite make the contact he was looking for. Henry. And now Bergkamp for Arsenal, and he was caught there, Bergkamp, as he played it off by Neil. No free kick given, Bergkamp not happy. Reed's cross, too deep for Dwight York. He's hustled Ashley Cole out of possession. Babel.
I've got to say I've been very impressed with Dwight York this afternoon. I thought his touch was lacking a little bit in the recent game at Old Trafford, but he's worked tremendously hard. He's been a good platform for Rovers to play from. As soon as they've got the ball in midfield, they've played off Dwight on a number of occasions. Always made himself available.
Perez skipped away from Ferguson. Vieira. Here's Bergkamp again. Oh, it's not like him. It's gone in early for York. Campbell with the clearance. Neil. He wins the free kick. Gilberto's tackle. Blackburn will make their change. Andy Cole, who of course began his professional career here at Arsenal, though he only made a couple of substitute appearances before he was sold to Bristol City, will replace the 19-year-old Paul Gallagher. Not fondly remembered, by the sounds of things, by the Highbury faithful. Here's Babel. Now Emerton. Two-guy. He can hit the ball, two-guy, if he gets half an opening, and he did.
Created a decent chance for himself, didn't he? It was a lovely little step over. He got himself into a shooting position again, just showing good composure, good possession by Blackburn Rovers. Patrick Vieira just did enough to put the Blackburn Rovers midfield player off, just as he was going to strike that ball, but they'll be encouraged by this Blackburn, and you can see and understand why Graham Souness has thrown on Andy Cole, a proven goal scorer, of course a proven partnership with Dwight York.
Cole has scored against Arsenal for both Newcastle and Manchester United in the past. Youngberg, referee allowing play to go on after what looked like a foul. Nothing came of it from Arsenal's point of view. Emerton. Oh, well played. The Australian international keeps going. Looks for Reed. Not the best ball though, kind of poor ball.
Good opportunity gone begging there, because Marcus Babbel had made up a tremendous amount of ground just to support Brett Emerton on this right-hand side. He chose to ignore his full-back and give him away possession, but really Blackburn Rovers, if they can find the right sort of ball through to the front two in dangerous areas, with half a chance here, really Arsenal need that second goal just to calm them down. They haven't played particularly well in this second half.
Pires. He stumbled through two challenges, loses the ball and doesn't get the free kick he was hoping for. Now Blackburn get a free kick far by Gilberto, and Mr. Wenger is not a happy bunny.
It's not often that we'll see an irate Arsene Wenger, but he was furious that the side didn't get fell for the challenge on Robert Pires.
There's Dwight York. The famous York and Cole partnership has resumed. Ferguson's cross is a good one, and there's the equalising goal from Marcus Babbel. But wait, the referee has ruled it out.
Oh, it's a fabulous ball in by Barry Ferguson again, a good move, and I talked about finding the right ball in the final third, and that's exactly what Blackburn Rovers did, and you can only think he's climbing all over Kolo Touré as that ball comes into the box. Marcus Babbel not sure what he's doing in that area of the field. He's a right back in almost an inside left position, but the referee had a clear view of it.
Well, interesting one. Harsh decision, correct decision. You've seen it as often as we have. What do you think?
I thought it was a correct decision. I thought that his arms were all over Touré. Touré certainly didn't jump, but when you do see the way that Marcus Babbel does go up for the ball, unfortunately for Blackburn Rovers and for him, he is climbing all over the Arsenal right back.
Neil with the long ball, away by Campbell. Sugar, Reed. Andy Cole gets there. Seagan got there a little bit quicker.
Arsenal will be a little bit nervous at the moment. You know, they're giving points away here at Highbury, noticeably against Portsmouth and Fulham. And they want to complete this game and see it out and get the 3 points to put them on top of the table. And this was the decision that Andy D'Urso decided to award for Arsenal. You can see how he's climbing all over Touré. It's a fantastic header by Babbel, but when he climbs over the Arsenal defender. For me, there's no doubt.
Yeah, I think seen again from that angle, conclusive. Pires. Good ball for Cole. Good colouring by Todd. He's running straight out of play now. Robert Pires. Vieira. Stephen just making the angle for Lehmann to play it straight back to him. Vieira. Perez taking his time, taking care. Where's he going to go? He found a way out. Vieira to the excellent, effervescent Touré. Ljungberg or Gupo Gilberto. Henry offside.
He gave it late, didn't he? The referee's assistant on that far side. I think it was the correct decision.
Reed goes storming forward on the counter-attack for Blackburn. Ferguson. Now finding Tuga. On into Babbel. Emerton. Tuga hesitated for some reason there, but Arsenal glad he did. Blackburn's throw.
Yeah, deflection when Brett Emerton went to play that pass. Definitely an Arsenal player that deflected that ball.
Andy Cole, good quick turn, but the error there, and he was fouled anyway by Reed.
It's been a fabulous game, hasn't it? And I think a lot of credit should go to Blackburn Rovers, the way they've approached this game. I think they've come here to play, to get forward, to try and create chances, and that's exactly what they've done here this afternoon. And it's a slender lead, but Graham Souness will know that his side are in with a real chance.
Todd's clearance, and it's a good one to Emerton. Very short on to Neil. Here's Tuga. Ferguson. He's continued his run. They've got 2 in the box here, Blackburn, if they can get a decent cross in. They've got a throw. Reed. Harry Ferguson goes down by Henry, and he's given it away to Vieira. Pires. Thierry Henry. Ashley Cole, of all people, is on the far post here. And it was an important interception to stop the ball getting to the Arsenal left back. Now Emerton, again getting stretched really wide. It's been like that really from the outset here. Very entertaining game. Tugai. Emerton. There's Babel for Blackburn. Still very much in the picture here. Emerton cross. Too far for Andy Cole. Youngberg. Now Bergkamp. They play this one-touch, speedy football so well, but now Blackburn have regained possession through Todd. And Cole just as quickly gives it away. Henry's asked for an early ball. He's on the left. It's gone instead to the other flank to Youngberg. He's got a chase on here.
Well, that's most unlike Dennis Bergkamp, not really picking the right way to the pass. Thierry Henry had the opportunity on the left-hand side, Lundberg on the right. You just look how far Blackburn Rovers push forward, really, allowing that space in behind them. Quite content to allow Arsenal to do that.
Emerton on a brilliant run and earns the free kick. It's going to be another yellow card.
It's a great shame that, you know, so many yellow cards have been brandished here this afternoon, when it's been a superb game. You know, both sides have really been intent on attacking from the start. There's been no real malice about too many of the challenges we've seen here this afternoon, and I think that you know, it's been a super game of football.
The second caution of the day for an Arsenal player, Pascal Sigon, joining Gilberto. 3, remember, from Blackburn already in Mr. D'Ursay's book. Emerton, Babel. Decent ball, and Sigon to get there. Oh, a little trick there from Pires, that the crowd really enjoyed.
Well, he was trying to get a little bit more composure about his game, wasn't he, Robert Pires? Just have a look at this, a little bit of audacious skill by Robert Pires. His own defensive third. How many managers would be pulling their hair out if you saw your winger doing that?
Most players wouldn't even try that on the training ground. Bergkamp, lovely ball for Pires, it intercepts. Babel. 3/4 of the way through the game, Arsenal still lead, thanks to Dennis Bergkamp's first half goal. Blackburn have underlined their recent improvement by their display here today. Cole, good ball forward as well, and another fine save by Lehman from Ferguson.
Oh, what a good save. Jens Lehmann. You can understand why Arsene Wenger brought him in the summer. Very, very assured goalkeeping performance here this afternoon. And Barry Ferguson really not an awful lot of space there, finds the striker who's heading towards the far post.
Well, Arsenal had that important Champions League game in midweek, of course. Very difficult to then come back and play at full power and pace just a few days later in a Premiership match. They do have this wonderful record, of course, following midweek European games. But today they've not been at their best, Arsenal, and yet crucially they're still in front, as we just confirmed the earlier caution for Pascal Sigan. Blackburn's free kick. Tugai to Andy Cole. No free kick this time, and suddenly the break is on for Pires. Henry sprints forward to his left. Here he is, Thierry Henry. Corner.
I'll tell you what, Andy Todd's a little bit fortunate there because he blatantly pushes Thierry Henry. Henry 1v1 in the box, so it was a very difficult situation to defend from, but just there. And, understand the boos and the jeers from the Arsenal fans. They felt that certainly Henry had been obstructed.
Thierry's grasp of English improves with every conversation with Mr. Derso. Friedel with an excellent fist away, but it'll be turned back in by Gilberto. Now back out to Freddie Ljungberg. Good block.
Craig Short really has been a rock at the heart of that Blackburn defence. We talked at the top, didn't we, about what an influence he has on this Blackburn Rovers side. They've done so much better since he's been back in the team.
This time Arsenal do get a free kick, and somewhat sarcastic ovation from the Arsenal fans.
Lucas Neal's not happy. He felt that Dennis Bergkamp had raised his arm to him initially, and I think Lucas Neal just lost a little bit of composure there, but it's given Arsenal a free kick in a threatening area.
20 minutes to go at Highbury. Arsenal, if they win, will go top of the table. Henry gets up.
He's not renowned for his heading skills, is he, Thierry Henry? Doesn't score too many from situations like this, but he did rise majestically at the far post.
Cole. Tugai. This is Emerton. Babel swings one in, that's too easy. The keeper, though. Todd's got his hand up, claiming that Henry's offside. Meantime, Craig Shaw gets on with the game. Now there is an offside. Dwight York at the other end.
Well, certainly had good possession, haven't they, in this second period, Blackburn Rovers. I think a lot of that's been down to the prompting of Tugai from that central midfield area. Been on the ball an awful lot, and his passing most of the time has been of the highest quality.
Pires. Here's Henry. There's one beaten, there's two beaten, still going. Beat himself in the end.
Not been quite right, has it, for Thierry Henry this afternoon, and whether that's still recovering from the injury that kept him out against Leicester City last week. Of course, he came back for the Champions League game midweek.
Maybe thinking about his acceptance speech for tomorrow. His cross is a good one, and Cole didn't know what was going on behind him. Sensible thing to do.
That's a decent ball, but really Brett Emmett ought to have taken the gamble there at the far post. You know, he's back on his heels when he really should have been following the cross in.
Points are not safe, not by any means yet for Arsenal.
It's an example of how well Blackburn Rovers have played it. I think most people here at Highbury wouldn't be surprised if they got an equaliser.
Climbing high again, and his presence has forced Arsenal to concede another corner. 1,300 fans made the long trip down from Lancashire. They're behind the goal that Blackburn are attacking now. And my word, would they celebrate if they can get level here. But not with corners like that, straight into Lehmann's hands.
He's been faultless, hasn't he, this afternoon? Jens Lehmann, everything that he's done so far, he's done at the highest quality.
Instant control, as you would expect from Thierry Henry. And Ray Parlour is going to join the action here for Arsenal. He'll replace Dennis Craig. Maybe he's taking over from the scorer of the winning goal. We shall see.
An interesting substitution by Arsene Wenger. Whether he just plays with one up top now in Thierry Henry and plays 5 in midfield and allows Pires and Lundberg the freedom to join Henry. But clearly Wenger recognising that perhaps they're being outplayed in that midfield third, especially the amount of times that 2 guys been on the ball.
Been out with a hamstring injury. Parlour came back and sat on the bench against Lokomotiv Moscow in the Champions League in midweek. Arsenal got a good draw in the next stage of that competition against the Spanish club Celta Vigo, who are struggling in their own league and a little bit fortunate to get through to the second stage. Suberta. Campbell. Parlour gets his first touch, and it's not a bad one. Good defending though by Neil. Campbell. Henry's offside. Said that a few times today.
Yeah, he's annoyed with himself, isn't he, Thierry Henry? Not a bad ball from Sol Campbell, and a lot of offsides by Arsenal. It's unusual because they do normally make some very intelligent runs.
Todd gave the ball away and then found it being presented straight back to him. Babel. Good tackle by Cole. Roberto. It's not happening in this second half for Arsenal.
No, it's certainly been an unlike Arsenal performance, especially how they passed the ball so well in the first 45 minutes. Freddie Lundberg has gone to play up front with Thierry Henry now. Ray Parlour playing wide right.
Given away by 2 guys to Pires. Vieira. Vieira's made the run, and it's a great ball by Pires to find him. He's also got Ljungberg up with him.
2 guys did well. Very well, because I just wondered whether he was the culprit not to have tracked Patrick Vieira with the initial run forward. He managed to get back in time.
Reed, straight to Seagun. He's not put a foot wrong. Gilberto. And now Pires. Great run by Robert Pires. Brilliant! Now he's going to be in trouble here, Todd.
Well, I can only think it'll be a yellow card rather than a red. Andy Todd. That clearly is a blatant free kick, and the correct decision by the referee, Andy D'Urso. It's a mesmerising run, wasn't it, from Robert Pires? Just really going at the heart of this Blackburn Rovers defence. But as you saw just in the bottom of the picture there, that Craig Short was the covering defender, so Todd wasn't the last defender. I think that was certainly something that the referee looked at before he brandished the yellow card.
And the heir to the throne of World Footballer of the Year is lining up the free kick.
We saw one earlier in the season, didn't we, at Charlton, from round about this position that Charlton Athletic that day actually put players on the post, numerous bodies in front of Henry and the goalkeeper, and he still found a spot.
Henry goes for goal! He's actually gone 3 Premiership matches without scoring. Right the headline.
Friedel knew that was going wide. He just very nonchalantly just walked across his goal.
Well, against lesser teams, Blackburn, I'm sure, would feel they done enough to earn at least a point here. At the moment, they're still trailing. Dwight York for them. Two-guy. First time volleyed pass finds Emerton. Got Andy Cole up with him. Reed on that left side. Emerton. Every challenge is enough to relieve him of possession. Here's Gilberto. Blackburn get the throw. Emerton. Maybe well to get to the byline. Arsenal not just very good at playing flowing, attacking, entertaining football, they're very good at digging in when they have to. There's Reed. Deflected. Oh, it actually hit the corner flag and came back to Parlour. When you get little strokes of luck like that, you must start to feel it's your day. Now, Henry and Pires to his left, and he couldn't pick him out.
Oh, it's a fabulous opportunity, wasn't it, for Arsenal? They had players over. Thierry Henry couldn't find the right pass at the right moment.
Right, you're going forward, and Emerton, oh, it was an important challenge by Cole. Perez finding Vieira. Ashley Cole with a really important interception seconds earlier.
Oh, it was so important, wasn't it, because Brett Emerton was just pulling the trigger here. Clever little ball from Dwight York, and you can see there Emerton didn't really know where Ashley Cole was until it was too late.
Todd. Here's Two-Guy into the last 10 minutes, and not a bad ball for York.
This has been one of those kneeling performances, hasn't it, for Blackburn Rovers? You know, they've had some good possession, their build-up has been neat and tidy. You know, they've looked reasonably sound at the back. They've looked particularly well organised, especially when it's come to pushing up and trying to catch Arsenal offside, but where it matters most, and that's in the final third, and that's where you need a little bit of extra quality.
And they produce it now. Babel. Campbell stabs it away, but only as far as Ferguson. Out to Emerton. Plenty in the box, awaiting the cross, and Lehmann has not missed a single ball like that today.
It's good and though, wasn't it, for the Arsenal goalkeeper. The ball in from Brett Emerton, just a little bit too much on it.
Henry. He's lost Todd. Pires on the far post.
It's not the worst one I've seen. Just inviting Robert Pires to try and nip between defender and goalkeeper. Once again operating in that area there, he seems to have so much.
Make that change now. Marcus Babel is the player who will be replaced by the experienced former Italian international Dino Baggio. His 7th substitute appearance for Blackburn in the Premiership.
Certainly gone for it now, hasn't he, Graham? In the last 10 minutes, they're going to just play with 3 at the back. Todd, Short, and Lucas Neal, by the looks of things.
Reed, back to Neal. In towards Cole, that's a great header. Down towards York, away again by the outstanding Pascal Seagon. 40-odd games now for Arsenal. Reed, oh, lovely turn by Andy Cole. 2 in the box, York and now the new arrival, Baggio. They've got a corner. On the corner count, still 1 behind on the goal count. Oh, a great save again by Lehmann. You must have seen that late.
Oh, what a chance that for Blackburn Rovers. You don't get too many when you come to Highbury, but that was as good as you're going to get this stage of the game. It's a fabulous little flick from Craig Short. The keeper makes A very telling save, but as it bounces to the feet of Dwight York, unfortunately it's a little bit behind him, and he scoops the ball over the bar. Oh, what a chance, and Graham knows that, and the whole of the Blackburn bench and the Blackburn players know it as well.
There's another change, this time for Arsenal. Freddie Ljungberg is being replaced by Edu. He actually scored for both teams in the corresponding game last season, which Blackburn won by 2-1. Adjo back to Todd. Here's Emerton. Full time, still hope for Blackburn Rovers. Tuga. It's away by Campbell. And as far as Neil. And his former Millwall colleague Reed. Andy Cole. Tuga back in. And an important header there by Campbell, but the linesman had flagged offside.
I think Andy Cole rather had just strayed offside just behind Sol Campbell, but you do get the impression that perhaps it's just not going to be Blackburn Rovers' day. They really have had a lot of possession this second period, and arguably they have deserved an equaliser from their second half performance. It's been very, very good.
There's no consolation if you lose, but I wouldn't be too depressed if I was a Blackburn fan. I might get depressed now, no I won't, because the linesman's flagged on the offside for the umpteenth time. Arsenal were in such a hurry to take that free kick that they fell into the trap. Ball played into no one in particular there, and Edu with a comfortable interception as we move into the final 5 minutes. Arsenal just that distance away from going back to the top of the Premiership table. The weekend began with Chelsea on top, and Manchester United overtook them. Arsenal standing to be the third different team on the top of the table.
Sometimes you have to grind out results when you're not at your most fluent best, and that's what's happened to Arsenal today. You know, they played very well in the first 45 minutes. They could quite easily have gone in at the interval 2-3-0 ahead, but that didn't happen, and Blackburn Rovers, to their credit, stuck out their task and played very well in the second period without having too much joy in the final third.
Henry. Oh, great little ball for Edu. Pires on the far post, but here's Henry! Oh, another day. That would have been nestling in the back of the net.
Well, very similar to Robert Pires in the first half. Perhaps Patrick Vieira didn't realise how much time he had. Could quite easily have controlled that ball when he received it from Edu and just picked his spot. It's a clever little ball, and it's also a superb cutback by Edu. Everybody's expecting the ball to go to the far post. He could quite easily have controlled that and then picked the important spot, but well, 5 attempts, no goals for him this afternoon. Most unusual.
Scored 14 in all competitions this season. Two guys. By Toure. Gilberto with an awkward header. He's kept his team under pressure until Vieira took charge. Now Edu. Straight to Todd, who was brushed aside by Henry. Play on. Says Mr. Doso, and two guys gifted it back to Toure. Parler. Gilberto finds Pires. Time running out now for Blackburn, well as they've played. 3 minutes to go. On this channel next week, it starts at noon, this game, so don't forget that. Southampton against Portsmouth in the Barclaycard Premiership. Join us at noon next Sunday for that, I'm sure, keenly contested South Coast derby. Here's Parler for Arsenal. The physio is being on at any stage in this game, so there's not going to be much stoppage time as Ferguson turns one forward. And so defend well again. Pires. Alberto. There's one for the Brazilian to keep chasing. There's the foul there. Well, we will allow play to go on with Friedel in possession. Campbell's clearance. It's gone back to Toure. Oh. That would come off, but it was spectacular. Pires. Very uncharacteristic second half performance by the Gunners. But crucially, they're still leading.
It's interesting that most of the season the plaudits have been going to midfield players and the strikers here at Highbury, but I have to say I think the back four and the goalkeeper have done very well for Arsenal this afternoon. They look very strong, very well organised, and they've withstood a lot of Blackburn Rovers possession.
We're now in the final minute at Highbury. Arsenal 60 seconds plus stoppage time away from going to the top of the Premiership table. Enormous clearance by Friedel. Seagon heads clear on as far as Ferguson. Now Cole. Seagon was there again. Blackburn coming strong with what could be one of their final throws of the dice. Tuga. There's Neil. How many men they got forward here? Blackburn. Away by Campbell. Vieira's got lucky there. Pires to one side, Henry to the other. Not bother taking it into the corner, is he? A couple of hefty challenges on Thierry Henry, and he wins the corner.
Well, he won't mind those challenges, Thierry Henry, as long as his side have got a corner kick. Just wastes a little bit more time edging towards those 3 points, and of course a return to the top of the Premiership.
Well, they might keep it in the corner, and I can't think of a better man to do it. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time. Frustrating this for Blackburn Rovers. And Pires comes out with the ball after all that. Amazing run by Pires. He's still going. Oh. Well, even when they're trying to waste time, they almost got a goal.
I was going to say, they've gone from trying to keep the ball in the corner flag one moment, the next minute they created a very, very good chance, and very nearly, wasn't it, Edu? Flying header at the far post. Almost there, Arsenal.
This will surely be Blackburn Rovers' final attack. Cole. Not a bad ball. Hamilton was free as well momentarily. Tugai goes down, but no free kick. Vieira goes sliding in. Now Todd. He's had a little look at the watch. White York. There's too many men there for Blackburn. And it's launched long for Thierry Henry. Got Pires up in support. And finds in, does he? Oh! Just got enough of the ball there, Neil.
Oh, what a clever ball, wasn't it, by Thierry Henry. You did fear for Blackburn Rovers when you saw Henry 1v1 against Craig Short. But full credit to Short, he just holds him up long enough and then just finding the right ball, Henry. Very nearly, Pires making it 2-0. Good interception by Lucas Neal.
This should be enough, really, to see out time for Arsenal. And it is! There's the final whistle. Arsene Wenger has guided his team now to a 16-game unbeaten run. The only club in English professional football who go towards the Christmas period with an unbeaten record. And Arsenal go there now as leaders of the Premiership. They've gone top by 1 point after another successful performance here at Highbury. Blackburn can take credit, heart and encouragement from their display, because against worse opposition than Arsenal, they would surely be going back to Lancashire with something to show for their efforts. But this is Arsenal, and they can grind out results with the very best of them. That one first half goal by Dennis Bergkamp was enough to secure all 3 points and the leadership of the Premiership. It's finished. Arsenal 1, Blackburn Rovers 0.